Usui no ajo.
Welcome to Shojo and Tell, where we discuss shoujo manga and tell who's hot and who's not, discuss themes, and generally geek out over shoujo manga. Not anime. Forget anime. That sucks.
We're probably going to talk about anime too a little bit.
Okay, fine. We watched the anime.
I mean, I haven't watched it in a long time, and it didn't hold up last time I looked at it, but...
Boy. We'll get there. Today, July 23rd, 2017, we'll be discussing the first 9 volumes of Maid-sama, which is half of Maid-sama. I'm your host, Ashley McDonald, and I'm joined by Asher Sofman.
Hey!
Yay, Asher Sofman.
Yay!
Who are you?
Am I the guest?
Yeah, you're the guest.
Am I the guest?
Why are you here?
All right. I'm here because Ashley's my roommate, is no longer my roommate, as we are no longer in college. We're a bit old for that now, actually.
We're getting really old. I'm getting scared. And I feel like I shouldn't be reading shoujo manga.
What are you talking about? People read shoujo manga, and they're like grown-ups. They're usually like housewives, but...
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a gross generalization. I don't actually know who reads shoujo manga. So I'm Asher. I have known Ashley for a long time, and we've been podcast co-hosts with Jeff Ruberg and my brother Andrew for also a long time. I am a rabbinical student going into my 3rd year. What else about myself? I'm 27, Scorpio. I don't like long walks on the beach. I think sand is terrible. And I don't like getting caught in the rain. Pina coladas are okay.
Okay.
I'm single.
What's your favorite shoujo manga?
Cardcaptors. Cardcaptor Sakura, I guess, is the actual manga and not the anime.
Really?
I don't know.
All right, so Asher mentioned that Jeff Ruberg person, and he's actually semi-important because Maid-sama is published by Viz, and Jeff Ruberg works at Viz, and I live with Jeff Ruberg, so technically maybe I have a little bit of conflict of interest here. Let's just say, like, when you buy a Viz manga, like, a 50th of a cent probably, like, directly impacts my life, so thank you. Woo! And as it being a Viz manga, that means you can, download it from all the cool, like, digital services, or you can go to a physical bookstore. I think it's actually one of Viz's most popular shoujo titles at this time.
Really?
I am led to believe that based on when Barnes & Noble was having the Viz buy 2 get the 3rd free sale recently. When I clicked on Viz and then went to shoujo, the top 3 titles were, like, all the Maid-sama volumes were there, then Dengeki Daisy, and, God, why can't I remember? The other one is the big Skip Beat. Yeah. So those 3, like, dominated the, like, these are the best-selling for this publisher in this genre. That makes sense. It's ending soon.
I guess.
I was kind of shocked.
And it's like a solid manga, like...
Yeah. Okay, wait. Maid-sama is my favorite manga, despite its many flaws.
Yes. Going back to it after such a long time was like, oh my god.
Okay, even I'll admit that this time reading it, I was like, man. Okay, wait, what? I even watched the anime semi-recently with Jeff.
With Jeff.
I watched it again with
Jeff. We watched it in college. Oh.
Yeah, no, I watched it like a year or 2 with Jeff. Okay, and if you've seen the anime, for anybody who's seen the anime but not watched the manga who might be listening to this, the volumes that we are covering are actually mostly what's covered in the anime. It's
pretty much
only volume 9 that's not. So basically, the anime covers almost half of the manga series, which is a shame for you because that means you get to know nothing about Usui. And we don't know nothing about Usui yet either, so whatever.
I don't know how well I can pretend. Because a lot of the problems I have with Usui's story actually haven't come up yet, and they might come up.
Wow, okay, try to simmer
down.
down.
I'll try.
All right, let's tell the people what Maid-sama is about. I gather they know it's about maids.
But is it really?
But is it really about maids? It's like really not, I guess. What is it about then, Asher? You tell me.
Well, it's about Misaki Ayuzawa, who
is the best.
Yeah, she is the best. She is also basically Japanese Ashley.
It's true.
Who's tall.
That's why I like this manga.
tall Japanese Ashley. So if you've read Maid-sama and you don't know Ashley, now you know Ashley.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I don't wear maid costumes, but everything else, like, pretty okay.
Well, we could change.
We
that.
could
We
change. I'm not sure that I want to, but okay.
They seem like a pain in the butt to put on.
Right?
So it's about Misaki, who is 16 at the beginning of this manga, and
she's 17 by the end of this. Just grab
she's 17 by the end of volume 9.
Yeah.
It's a plot point. She has a birthday.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
That's what we got up to. Misaki turned 17.
Time exists in this manga.
Yeah.
You can't always rely on that.
Yeah, you can't count on that. See, time exists.
Time exists.
Good point.
So she's in high school. Her father ran out on their family and left them with a lot of debt, so she has to go to this cheapy high school called Seika High, which used to be an all-boys school, but recently changed, so it's still 80% boys, and in true stereotypical fashion, is totally gross. Super grody there in every sense of the word. The girls who are there are, like, constantly terrified for their lives. Which may be a slight... I think we may have some narrative Misaki perspective there.
No.
But anyway, Misaki is this very bitter, angry go-getter because of her dad, and she's like, I'm going to change this school. So she runs and wins class president because nobody wants to be class president or school president. I always get so confused. Like, what's the difference?
I mean,
yes,
well,
class
would
president.
Just be like,
that's
whatever.
class representative. Yeah.
That's different.
The Japanese school system is baffling.
All we know about it is what we learned from manga, and that doesn't really make it easier.
Right.
Basically, this whole manga is a battle of the sexes.
Yes.
To the extreme.
Yes. So, but because she also needs to help support her family since her mother's often sick and her sister's still in junior high and can't get a job, she needs a job. But because she's student president, she can't have a really taxing job. So she ends up working at a maid cafe. Which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a cafe where the waitresses dress up as maids. But it's a nice place run by a very cool person. Like, cool as in a good boss, cares about you, will let you have weird hours if you're a student.
Yeah. So accommodating.
There's so much, like, logistically wrong with this manga.
Oh, so much.
Anyway, so Misaki's leading this double life. She can't let anyone find out that she's a maid.
This goes horribly wrong.
Because, oh no, her reputation. Oh no, the boys will make fun of her. She'll be ruined forever. Like, all right, but you're still going to be a scary Aikido master. But what happens is the one guy at school who can compete and best her at things, Takumi Usui,
perverted alien,
finds out. She doesn't call him that for a while. Actually.
I know.
Or at least not in the Viz translation. She doesn't call him that until, like, volume 3 or something.
Viz translation.
Viz. This is not part of the summary, but, like, Viz dropped the ball in a lot of places with this translation, I think, and I believe Ashley agrees with me.
I do agree. I don't have a stake in Viz at all. Nothing. I can speak my mind. I don't work there. We'll get to that later, though.
Yeah. So he finds out. And that's the premise. That's the story.
Yeah.
I think that's a good summary.
It's a good premise. I remember, I only vaguely remember stuff from when we first watched it, but I remember being very trepidatious. And I was like, Asher, I kind of want to read this manga or watch this anime, but, like, it's about maids in a maid cafe, and that makes me feel bad. And then you had to, like, reassure me that it, like, wasn't bad.
This manga is not bad. It has tons of problems. The problems are not about the maids.
It's true.
Mostly.
Actually, the least of its problems are the maids, which is shocking.
Most of its problems are the boys.
Yes.
Quite frankly.
I do have to say that I went to a maid cafe in Japan. It was just a random maid cafe. Like, we stumbled upon it, and I was like, you know what? I gotta do it because this is my favorite manga. And it was a horrifying experience. You know, like, it was probably one of the least favorite things I've done in Tokyo. I'd rank it above the robot restaurant, though. Damn robot restaurant. That was horrific. It was just highly uncomfortable. I was even with two dudes. So it was still uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was like, okay, at least now this is a real thing. I have seen the premise in real life. I do not think it is as rosy as it is in this manga, but cool.
No, absolutely not. There's no way. This manga doesn't even paint it as that rosy, except for this one cafe.
It's true, I guess. But, like, they're all so into it except Misaki, and even she's grudgingly like, I respect it.
Only Satsuki and Honoka are really into it.
I guess that's true.
The rest of them just are there because of loyalty.
And money.
And money, like, it's a nice working environment. Everyone, if you want to be a good boss, or at least if you want to be popular with your employees, Satsuki's model, A+.
A+. I really wonder how
I don't know how good a business
yeah.
model is, but,
I was like, I do not understand how she, like, got anywhere.
Fujiwara just, like, does not...
Oh, she really does not.
Is not interested in that.
Oh, super not interested. So many things get dropped, and you're just like, okay, I guess that's not... that. We're just dropping that plot point real hard right now. Like, what happens to her fan club? I guess they just give up. They do come back later, I think.
They're mentioned, like, once.
Yeah. The hickey thing is only on the beach volleyball tournament. Usui's like, hey, I guess you don't want to wear a swimsuit, like, two-piece for this reason. And then the next day, it's fine. They're in the beach volleyball tournament. I'm like, okay.
Well, you know, she's, like, magic superpowers. She
just healed it overnight.
She's Wolverine. She's Wolverine. I don't know.
I don't buy that, but okay.
You don't?
I've gotten a lot of bruises, not necessarily hickeys, but, you know, just in my lifetime, I've had a lot of bruises. They do not magically go away overnight.
That is true. I had... All right, we don't need to talk about our lack of superpowers.
Yeah. I'm Misaki, but without superpowers. Okay, see, this is why I really love this manga, because I'm Misaki, which is troublesome because I both want to, like... I'm like, no, I love Misaki in, like, a romantic way, but also I'm like, no, I like her with Usui, and I'm like, what is this? I don't understand.
Ooh, life goals or wife goals. You know, you're 10 years older than her.
Listen, this is why.
This is why we are actually too old to be reading
exactly.
manga.
It was better when we were not. When we were what? I guess we were 4 years older than her. Yeah, like, it was less creepy then. It was okay then.
No, I think that was still pretty creepy.
Shut up. You know what?
Well, then again, I also did not have crushes on any of the characters.
This is my problem.
Although if you're Misaki, does that make me Usui?
Are you Usui? I don't know.
Am I?
Do you want to be Usui? Do you?
I mean, what are my other options?
Hinata?
I'm definitely not Hinata. Just putting that out there.
But Hinata's so nice. I mean, I don't...
Yeah, but I have issues with Hinata.
Really? This is scandalous.
I do. Yeah. I mean, I have issues with Usui, too.
I mean, those issues are obvious.
Right. Hinata, no.
Aww.
I can't be Yukimura. I guess I could be Kano.
Kano.
But I like girls. No.
You could be Sakura. Nobody should be Sakura.
No.
You can be male Misaki.
I think that's still you, though.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Why? Why?
I guess I do wear male clothes. I don't have any female ones.
Come on. If you had the opportunity to like, oh, but you're scared of girls.
I am scared of girls. That's actually a thing.
So, all right, you're Misaki, but you're scared of girls.
No, I'm only scared of particular type of girls.
Yeah, but that's the type that Misaki likes.
It's true. I'm scared of the Sakuras of the world. Oh. It's so bad, guys. Okay, in case anybody was confused, Kano is like some weird, creepy, like hypnotist man who. Hey, he becomes okay by the end.
Yes. At the beginning, he's creepy.
He's creepy.
I'll give you
He's
that.
also afraid of girls.
I love him.
Okay. Ashley loves him.
I love him.
Yukimura is the vice president who...
And he's adorable.
He gets dressed up a lot as a girl. People mistake him for the girl. And that's his whole character arc is, I'm a man.
Pretty much. Yeah, and that's it. He never, like... Actually, I guess he does... Does he later on get to be like... No, he's still adorable
I don't
and tiny.
think... Yeah, I do not remember, like, how his character arc shakes out, but I don't think it gets...
No. I mean, he has that one, like, extra chapter with his sister that we read.
Yeah. Was he cool in that?
He was cool in his own Yukimura way.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, he scolded his sister. It was very cool. Who else did we mention? Sakura is Misaki's adorable girly friend, the girliest.
And Shizuko, who we didn't mention, actually, is their other friend. There's a trio.
Because you always gotta have a trio. I love
always
just juxtaposing all the like trio poses that happen in this manga, like when they have the like costume race, and then it's like, look how cool Usui and Yukimura and Misaki are, and they're like pirate and maid costume or whatever's happening there. And then there's, like, later, who's the trio? I don't know. It was all very, like... Oh, I think it was when the stupid plot of the boys become rabid and want to attack all the girls on the camping trip.
Oh, God.
The worst plot.
Worst plot. All right.
Usui and Hinata and Misaki get a similar, like, trio cool pose.
Yeah.
What did we mention?
I'm trying to think who else. Oh, We mentioned Hinata. Did we explain Hinata?
Oh, no. He's the love rival to Usui, childhood best friend.
Right.
Who moved away.
Very obvious he's not going to get the girl.
Soup's obvious. 2 volumes in, you're like, yeah, you're done.
Like, before he shows up, we know he's doomed.
He comes in volume 7. It's far too late, bro. It's too late.
Yeah, like, didn't they already, like... They hadn't...
Did they kiss?
They hadn't kissed yet. No.
Right. I think he comes in volume 6, actually. So, yeah. So then in volume 7, they kiss.
All right. I trust you to actually know the numbers on this, because the whole 2-in-1 reading on my phone thing was not
what is this
ideal
madness?
for me keeping track of what volume I was on. The Viz app is very confusing.
Oh, I'll relay that to somebody who I know works on the Viz apps. Okay.
All right. Let's get back. Let's get down to business.
Yes. Okay, we can talk since Viz keeps coming up, and we can discuss Maid-sama's troubled publishing history in America. So, I believe, as everybody knows, Tokyo Pop used to be a thing. It's trying to come back now. I don't know. It's confusing. Nobody tries to keep up with them because nobody likes them. But they initially had the license to Maid-sama, and they released the first 8 volumes, so which is, again, we only read 1 volume that did not previously have a Tokyo Pop translation. So it got caught up in Tokyo Pop dying, and so, yeah, it only got 8 volumes released, and I was very sad. And I actually...
She was devastated.
I was very devastated. So I actually did mildly pester Viz for several years to...
Really?
Pick up the license. Yeah.
I didn't know that about
Before
you.
Jeff, yeah, I would like leave comments on their Facebook being like, "Are you gonna pick up Maid-sama?" Like, please do it.
Cute.
Which is a thing that you have to do to like make senpai notice you. Don't read scanlations. Just mildly pester them on social media. They do pay attention. They hear you.
Or learn Japanese and do it yourself, I guess.
Or if you're gonna read scanlations, yeah, import the volumes in Japanese.
Yeah,
you can buy the digital ones. There are methods. do it.
But really, support your peeps.
Yeah, support your peeps. Just bother them.
Legally.
It's their job to listen to you on social media.
It's actually one of the nicer parts of their job.
Right? You're not like, just don't say it
Yeah.
hatefully. Just be like, can you license this? Heart.
Yeah.
So then Viz eventually, like, I think in 2014. So I think Tokyo Pop went out of business in like 2011. Tokyo Pop or Viz announced that they picked up the Maid-sama license in 2014, and I believe it started coming out in 2015. And now we are recording this slightly before the last 2-in-1 has come out with Viz. By the time we release this, it will have been out for a while or whatever, so you can have read all of it. Yay! But yeah, so this manga is actually like decently old. You know, there are references in the volumes that we read of like how the anime came out, which I guess we actually watched the anime fairly after it had recently come out initially.
Yeah.
In 2000.
Yeah.
Because we watched it in 2011 and they were talking about it being 2010 in there. So.
I mean, I don't.
You're
I
like,
trust you on
time.
these numbers. It's not time, it's numbers. Like, I could tell you we watched it in college, sophomore year.
I think it was actually junior year, though.
Was it junior year? Did we have our own actual place?
Yeah.
Like that?
Because I remember going into your very, very small single area.
Is that where we watched
I
it?
believe so.
Oh. All right.
It was so small. So small, you guys.
It was not as small as my room in Redwood City.
Really?
Yeah.
Was your room in Redwood City a closet?
Yes, I believe it was a converted closet.
Okay, that makes sense then. See, I got it. San Francisco Bay Area living. I understand. It's cringeworthy and sad. So, even though everybody really, really derides Tokyo Pop, especially for what they've become, which is just like weird English manga that they're like ripping off creators for, basic narrative, how that's going. Probably more nuance to it, but you know, whatever. I do actually like the Tokyo Pop translation more, and I realize that there is much bias wrapped in that because obviously the thing that you originally do is always the thing that like kind of sticks with you more.
Is it?
Generally.
I'll accept generally.
But yeah, so I would categorize the differences in the Tokyo Pop and Viz translation as Viz is very clearly trying to make it less wordy, because one of Maid-sama's problems is that it is very, very crowded. Many words. So unnecessary. The panels, the art is also just generally very crowded, which I did think by volume 8 it was getting better.
Mm-hmm.
The chapters were much more like, there were bigger spreads. I was like, cool. You've learned how to manga better. Great. But yeah, so the Tokyo Pop can be kind of wordy, but also it's edgier. Instead of Viz is all like, what the heck? Misaki will definitely just say hell in Tokyo Pop versions and be like, nope, I'm not messing around with that garbage. There are also just generally moments in the Viz version where I'm like, I don't really know why you made that choice. And I feel like Tokyo Pop took a lot of more artistic. I think the reason is because Viz wants to be like probably quote unquote truer and more authentic to the original Japanese, whereas I do believe Tokyo Pop took more liberty in being like, I'm going to make this make sense for English people, which makes it flow better. Because there are some jokes that I feel like just really don't land in the Viz version. So I did pull some images. I guess we can go in order, even though I don't think they're in like any sort of order. I just couldn't rearrange them. Damn Google Docs. My arch nemesis.
You know, you can do things in Word and then upload them to Google Docs, if that helps.
I didn't have time for this nonsense. It's fine. We can make our way through it. So I believe, okay, this first scene is like, what was happening in it? Misaki is hurt. It was, boys were doing something stupid. They were like on a ladder. She was yelling at them, and then she catches them as they fall off the ladder and catches the ladder and like hurts her wrist or something. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, because Usui just rejected that girl who's crying in the corner.
Right. Because he was watching Misaki through the window.
Yeah.
Right. So then Usui, like, approaches Misaki because he's like, I know you're hurt, blah, blah, blah. That's, like, their shtick. And, like, Misaki's just, like, going to class or something. And so Usui says, like, pushes her against the wall and says, skip it. And then Misaki, like, I guess because he's so close, like, reacts negatively and is like, what are you talking about? Get away from me. You're a pervert. But in Tokyo Pop, they translated skip it as take off your clothes, which makes way more sense in context because that's what he wants to see her wrists to be like, oh, you're injured. Look at you. I have to go, like, fix you up, which, like, makes more sense for his pervy actions as well.
Yeah. But it...
You don't agree? I was genuinely the first time I read, because it was really hard the first time I read through Viz's translation to not wonder what it was in Tokyo Pop, so I, like, cross-referenced a lot. But, like, at that point, I was, like, genuinely confused. I was like, what does this mean?
Yeah, that's what I feel. I'm confused. Now I'm left wondering what the actual original
right? Like, how
was.
those are very different translations.
One of them is not a translation. At least one is not a translation.
One of them is just like, what are you talking about? Like, what the hell is going on?
Which one is Viz and which one is Tokyo Pop?
The skip it is Viz.
Huh.
Yeah. I really preferred Tokyo Pop's translation in that instance because I'm like, it makes much more sense about what's going on here.
Yes. I think I'm confused because most of Viz's translations make Usui much more aggressive. So that's why I was like, wait, this one's the Tokyo Pop one?
Really? I think actually Tokyo Pop makes him extremely more aggressive.
Really? It's been a while since I read the Tokyo Pop. Maybe that's what's... Huh.
Yeah. Like, I think...
All right. So maybe it's just the writing.
Yeah, there are definitely things that you chalk up to the writing. Like, there's one instance... What is it? They're trying to do the, like... Power Ranger-ish day where they all dress up as different anime characters and they're like trying to decide what color ranger Misaki should be.
Right.
And so Usui lands on white and like, I don't know, I didn't really like his metaphorical reasons for it. And I was like, I think this is just because it's crappy writing. But it's like, what were his reasons? His reasons were like white because she can't be painted by your colors. Like she doesn't let anybody influence her, but also you really want to influence her because she's white. And I'm like, okay, I guess.
I mean, I believe that's a real thing that was in the... It sounds like a real thing that was in the original writing.
Oh, yeah, but, like, I'm like, I don't... This metaphor is... What?
It's super creepy is what it is.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna roll with it.
And I also disagree with them picking white for her anyway.
It's true. Misaki's not white. Come on. It's dumb.
It's black or red, right?
It totally should be black.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we have
feelings
here.
we understand Misaki better than Usui.
Oh, I was gonna say we understand Misaki better than Fujiwara Hiro.
Oh yeah, totally.
No, we love you.
No, we love you. It's fine. There's another scene where I was very confused when I initially read it in Viz, because it's the idiot trio. There's a trio of people just called the idiot trio that I really, based on things that happen like in sidebars, seems pretty clear that they were not intended to be such a heavy part of the plot, but then they become like rather integral to all of the like silly jokes. So it's basically they are 3 students from her class that Usui threatened them to be like, when they found out about Misaki's secret, like, you can't tell anyone, but now they're like the biggest fans of Misaki because they're like, she's so cute and cool and blah 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 blah. And then so then they go to the cafe all the time as a trio, and they used to be like super delinquents. There's a scene where Misaki rips out one of their earrings, which is actually, it sounds terrible. Misaki, you should not have done that. That's a horrible thing to do. But yeah, so then this is a normal thing in maid cafes. I had it done at the maid cafe. You order like omelet rice, and then they draw a thing on the omelet rice. Right. When I went, I had them draw Guillemon, and it was dope. That was actually pretty dope. I gotta say. It was cool. So then the idiot trio, I'm pretty sure, frequently asks Misaki to write like how she's feeling. I'm pretty sure it differs by translation. I'm pretty sure in Tokyo Pop it actually was like, at one point at least, was like, tell us how you feel about us. But whatever. So on the omelet rice, in the Viz translation, they wrote it as take flight, which I was like, okay, I guess that implies that she wants them to leave. But take flight in English has a much like happier connotation in my mind. Like it's like,
oh,
you're
really?
like soaring.
For,
you know, like
to me,
it makes me think of like the volleyball anime where it's like, oh, they're all birds and they want to soar and like.
Are you talking about Haikyuu?
Yeah.
No, it makes me think of Lord of the Rings. Fly, you fools.
Okay, well, I don't like the Lord of the Rings. This is where we differ.
Right, because we only agree on Shojo manga.
It's true, we only actually agree about Maid-sama. But Tokyo Pop translated Take Flight as gadflies, and the little subnote in both of them is that, like, the character she uses is supposed to imply buzz off. Fine.
Right.
I think gadflies is a much more negative...
Yeah. I think gadflies is the better translation, and also... If they were going to say take flight, why didn't they just write buzz off?
Exactly! Like, wait, what are you talking? Why didn't either of you just...
Why didn't either
exactly!
of you buzz off?
It's like, that makes total sense. Like, what? I don't understand. These translations, like, that's why it's like, okay, clearly they were both trying to be, like, truer to the initial Japanese to be like, she didn't actually write buzz off. It was just implied by the many layers that you can do in Japanese.
Okay, fair. Why didn't she draw a fly flying away?
I don't know. I don't.
I guess the editors aren't talented.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Okay, and then the next scene I flagged is actually, Tokyo Pop and Viz took very different routes for it. And it's one of those things that where it's like, you can see why. So it's basically Maid Latte is having another special day. It's supposed to be Little Sister Day, where they all act as little sisters, but Misaki's not any good at it, so they're like, okay, you can't just like skimp out on work. That's not cool. At least one of them is like that. The others are like, you can totally just not like come in or whatever. Yeah, so Misaki's not good at being a little sister because she's all aggressive all the time and like clotheslines men and rips out their earrings.
That's actually genuinely awful.
I know it is. So yeah, so then they're like, we're going to teach you how to be a little sister. So they're like coaching her in all the different ways that you could address your older brother. Because you can do it a 50 jillion different ways in Japanese. So Viz chose to take the route of, you know, retaining the honorifics of Japanese, which makes sense, I feel, usually makes sense. And
Okay.
up until the point where Misaki says, I'd use Anaki, I think it works. But then that joke doesn't land when she's just like, everybody else is like, you should use Oni-chan and Ne-san. And she's like, I'd use Anaki. And you're just like, I don't know. What, again, that actually reminds me of Escaflowne because I'm pretty sure that's how Vaughn addresses Fulkin. And that's all I think about. I don't really know any other context of it. So I think it's much funnier in the Tokyo Pop version because when they get, like, it's more awkward because they're, like, suggesting that she should say big brother or big sister. Actually, that's not that awkward. I think the elder sister.
Elder brother.
Yeah,
that's
the one
super
that's
awkward.
awkward.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with Viz on this one.
Wow. But I think it's much funnier when Misaki's just like, sup, bro.
I think Viz is translating for a different audience than Tokyo Pop was, actually. Viz is... how many years difference are we talking about here? When Viz got the license?
When they got the license, it had been out of print from Tokyo Pop for at least 3 years. There was probably at least a 4-year gap between them publishing it.
Okay. Because I think of Tokyo Pop as one of, like, an earlier publisher. They got in the game earlier. They were publishing things. They published Card Captors and Magic Knight Rayearth. So to me, they're, like, old school. And they are translating for a group of people that... this could have been their first exposure to manga, right? Like, Card Captors and Magic Knight Rayearth were. people's first exposure, like
Sure.
to manga. I think Magic Knight Rayoth was my first manga.
I only read one volume of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm a terrible person.
I'd share, but no, it's okay. I am 1,000% sure my nostalgia is coloring my memories of Magic Knight. But Viz on the other hand, they have this like long time thriving, very opinionated a group of, you know, nerds that when they hear Aniki, they hear Tengen Toppengur and Lagan.
Okay. I guess it happens there, yeah. I guess your argument is that Tokyo Pop seemed to be more focused on introing everybody, whereas Viz has all his, like, the publisher of One Piece and all these, like, long, all the Shonen Jump stuff.
Yeah.
I guess that's fair. I feel like they're also much more they're much more beholden to like people wanting more authentic translations. So for things where they're like, well, this is just like all these honorific things are always awkward in English, they just like keep it in Japanese because they're like, we'll never satisfy you. We give up. Which is true. So yeah, I guess this next one that I pointed out was I feel that Viz's visual, like what's happening visually doesn't make sense based on what the character has said in a Viz translation. So this is a terrible scene in which a rival school's student council president offered, it's like a very rich school that Misaki could never afford. So he comes and he's like, I'll offer you free tuition. And so Misaki goes to discuss it with him, but he's a huge nasty perv man because he's rich and that's how rich people are, stereotypes. And then so he makes her dress in a maid costume because he has found out her secret because he's a rich person. He has investigative means. So when Misaki, he like forces her to put it on in like a minute because he's just like, I'm just gonna enter the room, and she's like, please don't do that. So she manages to put on the whole uniform in a minute. And then there's a panel where it's like pointing to all the extra crap that she put on, like these, like the headband and the frilly lace thing that goes on her is not attached to the main thing. It just like goes on her arms. She's like, put that crap on. And because why not? And then in Viz, he says, well, she's like accusing it of being weird. She's like, why did you make me put this on or whatever? And he's like, you say it's weird, but you carry it off beautifully. And it has arrows to all those extra things. And I was like, I don't think that makes that much sense.
Yeah, Tokyo Pop wins this one.
Yeah, so Tokyo Pop like is just like, I'm laughing because you bothered to put on all those extraneous pieces. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, yeah. Duh.
She did not need the little frilly hat thing or the arm
She
stuff.
did not need that.
Or the apron. She didn't need that.
Yeah, it's like basically like you were given a minute. Why did you put on? You only needed to put on. Like,
she didn't need the shoes.
She's such a goody two shoes, man. She's like, I gotta put it on properly. And the next panel is like force of habit or something. It was like at least what one of the translations said. I think one of the very bigger interesting things is that it is discussed, at least in a sidebar by Hiro Fujiwara, about Hinata having an accent because he goes to live in Kyushu, which is the like, it's not the southernmost island because there are a bunch of tiny islands in Japan, but it's the largest southernmost island. And they have like they're known for having a like dialect versus the like mainstreamer, like the Kansai dialect is also weird. That's like Kyoto area. But like it's discussed how he has that dialect, and Viz just decides to make him talk like everybody else, basically. Like there's no hint that there's any speech thing that differentiates him from his classmates. Whereas Tokyo Pop very much was like, no, we're going to try to, you know, approximate some sort of like southernish accent in English where they make him like say ain't and drop all his G's and stuff like that. Which I think is interesting because I don't know, it's kind of boring to read them all like they all kind of do read the same mannerisms. Like they have different personalities that comes through sometimes, but with Hinata it's just kind of like, yeah, you're just a bland person. Like, I don't know, you just speak normal. Like, I don't know. Those are my gripes. So in the end, I actually do prefer the Tokyo Pop version. I know that's a scandalous opinion to have. Even I can't be bought out by my 50th of a cent of each purchase by Viz here. You can't make me. I don't care that Viz basically funds my life, even though I have a job and I make literally half as much as Jeff does. So. I basically am indebted to Viz, but your translation does not win here.
Yes. God, I remember Tokyo Pop's translations, their letterings for old stuff. Oh my God.
Listen, I'm not trying to defend Tokyo Pop. I'm just saying in this one instance, I'm like, I kind of liked it better.
Yeah.
I have a lot invested in Misaki, okay?
I know.
Misaki brings me joy. But okay, I guess we should get to the crux of Maid-sama.
Yes.
As we've mentioned before, is that it's
the ships?
No! Not at all, because there's only ever really, one major ship.
That's the talk of an unimaginative person.
Okay, I mean, we can talk about ships first. That's fine. Let's go.
No, where are we going?
No, let's do ships.
Where are you going?
I was going to do
all
themes,
right.
But we can do ships. Ships is fine. Everybody loves ships. We know that's why everybody really reads Shojo manga.
That is why everyone reads Shojo manga. Themes? Psh. No, we could do themes first. Because once you get me started talking about ships, I'm not going to want to go back to themes.
Oh God, okay. Well, there's only really
you know me.
Okay, so I would say that Maid-sama has many themes going within it that it's trying to play with, but they all are really focused on one overarching theme, which is just identity politics and the policing of them. In that, in many regards, the biggest being gender, but there's also other levels to it where, again, I think we briefly mentioned, Misaki is not super into being a maid, and at least 2 of her coworkers really are, and so it annoys them that Misaki does not take pride in her work and is constantly trying to hide something as shameful when they're like, well, we take pride in it, so stop being like this. Don't put us down. And so they're just it's a lot of people being assuming an identity by either cross-dressing happens a lot. Both as maid latte days, as hijinks that happen between, there's a rival butler cafe, so some of them get dressed up as butlers even though they're girls. There's a character named Aoi. We haven't mentioned Aoi yet, have we?
We have not.
Oh, poor Aoi.
I thought about mentioning Aoi.
He's offended.
Yeah.
Aoi is a famous internet idol. Really, his gender, I guess he still identifies as male.
He does still identify as male and as straight, which is...
It's all very... Aoi's very confusing, but Aoi also has the best lines. Aoi has the best damn lines.
Aoi, upon this reread, I think Aoi was actually my favorite character. He's the only one who says what I am thinking.
Aoi is the one... Yeah, so Aoi gets dressed up as a girl to be his super famous internet idol, and he likes cute things. He very, very much just likes cute things. Great. He is the one...
And that's great.
It is great. And I love that Misaki also thinks that's great, because anytime... When Aoi gets, motivated and is not just, making fun of everybody else or putting them down, most of his lines are being I like cute things. It's what makes me feel this way. I don't care if you make fun of me. They're very, assertive, self-pronouncing, this is who I am lines that Misaki's all yeah, I love it. I'm gonna help you because I respect that.
Yeah.
And I'm yeah, Misaki, you're cool. So Aoi's great. Definitely loves the cross-dressing.
Yes, he does.
Yukimura gets cross-dressed a lot, just as a gag.
Yeah.
Normally it's not just a gag, though. It is people.
It's a plot device, usually.
It's normally a plot device. So that's why Maid-sama is very interesting, because it's trying to play with all the things at all the levels, but that just means it gets really mixed messaging all the time. Particularly where one Takumi Usui is involved.
That's all I have to say about
That's all. Usui never. There is one side panel where he is dressed in a maid costume. Yeah.
Usui?
Yeah. Very early on.
No.
Yes.
No. He didn't put it on.
Oh, he didn't put it on? No, I'm pretty sure he did.
No. I think he's the one character who didn't.
No, that was a different character. Pretty sure.
Who was it?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Usui pretty wore it. I'm pretty sure in a later volume this happens again, where the author is requested to dress all the men as maids. So Usui gets dressed as a maid.
I mean, he would do it. I fully believe it's in character, but I thought he didn't do it. Who was it? Didn't do
I was gonna bother.
Oh, it was Tora.
Yes, it was Tora.
It was Tora.
Because Tora's
That's
not gonna.
a shame. I think Tora would look better in it than Usui would.
Ouch.
I fully believe that.
Probably.
Put him with the cat ears. With the cat ears.
They do cat ear day 3 times in the volumes that we read.
She just really loves cat ears.
She loves cat ears. It's true. I have to say that anytime they try to make Usui like ultra sexy man, like show his chest, I'm like, no. Like, he's not, though. Like, I like him. And I do think he goes well with Misaki, but just like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think the worst instances of the gender thing are very much in the instances where Usui frequently tries to remind Misaki that she is a girl.
Right.
Before I started rereading it, I actually did. There are chapters that stick out to me more in my mind where I think that it is more fairly balanced to counteract that. And in my mind, I thought that the manga did a better job of showing him that he's garbage about that. But rereading it, I was like, no, that's not true. And now I'm sad. But I do want to give an instance where I think that came back to bite him. I think it's a very early chapter. It's like chapter 4 or something. But it's the chapter where the creepy dudes like.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, the creepy dudes come and basically jump Misaki and like tie her to a chair. And it had been preceded by Usui being like, Misaki, you're a girl. You can't actually protect yourself. And she's like, I know Aikido. Like, I'm stronger than most do. It's like, why are you telling me this? Shut up, Usui. Which is a perfectly valid argument.
Well,
it's not.
It couldn't have hurt to take something.
Right. The other premise was that
she did get captured.
The other premise was that the manager had been trying to pass out self-defense tools, and Misaki was like, I don't need this. And Usui was like,
yeah, that was dumb.
All right, fine.
Usui's way of convincing her was dumber.
Exactly. Usui's way of convincing her is always to like sexually assault her. Like, that's just true.
Yeah, it just needs to stop.
And he needs to stop. He needs to chill out. So Misaki gets jumped, and of course you think like, great, you think it's gonna play out how it stereotypically does in most shoujo manga, where it's like the dude was right, and now he has to come to her rescue. And so Usui starts coming to her rescue. He's like, I'm going to be a badass. I'm going to jump through this window. And in the process of jumping through the window, Misaki has like freed herself and beat up the men. And for me, that was like, I'm like, yes, vindicated. Words are hard. It's a great moment of like showing that he's wrong. But it's like very quickly preceded by chapters that are... It's the cross-dressing day that Misaki loves, because she's like, we appealed to women, and now it's all women that are here, and I love women. They're so much nicer than men. Teehee, yay. And then, so she's dressed as a dude, and she's like, I'm a perfectly great dude. I wish there was a dude like me. And then she, like, describes a gentlemanly dude, and Usui's like, that sounds like me, because he's Usui. He's full of himself. He thinks he's the best at everything, because he kind of is the best at everything, and that's what's so annoying about him. Yeah, but then, like, he ends up, to prove his point, he again just, like, sexually assaults Misaki. And, like, she doesn't have a great comeback for that, so that's disappointing. It's on in Disney. Yeah, so I feel like in the end there are more scenes where Usui wins by just sexually assaulting her and reminding her that that she's a girl. That's annoying.
Super annoying. The worst.
The worst. Boo.
Boo. Bad writing.
Bad writing. It is very repetitive in the, like, also in the realm of, you know how Misaki's gonna learn the lesson by Usui getting extremely hurt by doing something reckless.
Yeah.
It does go slightly the other way. We did mention that there's a scene where Misaki gets injured, and it's like, yeah, they kind of just play off each other. They make each other so mad that they, like, get injured, and then they're like, oops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I love you.
It's bad writing, and yet those are still some of my favorite scenes. I'm such garbage. Ashley.
Wait, what? Wait, pause.
The ones where Usui gets super hurt.
Oh, okay.
Like, no, not the. No.
I was like, wait, what?
No,
Okay.
The ones where he gets super hurt.
Okay.
Some of my favorites.
Because you like seeing him get hurt.
I like watching him fail.
I mean, that's
no,
fair.
I like when the situations are reversed a little and he is the one relying on her, even though it's always constantly like, even then he has the upper hand. Just, I like the little moments when she surprises him the best. Those are my favorite.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I actually deeply relate to Misaki is not just like her personality, but the way that she does relate to Usui. As troublesome as that is, I do actually really relate to how that is. Because I do feel that many of my friends, like, legit are just, like, naturally smarter than me. Jeff and you included. Whereas I'm the, like, hardworking Misaki just, like, studies all night to, like, do well on the test. And y'all are just like, whatever, I just know things somehow. Like, somebody told me once and I've just memorized life. That's how I imagine your lives go. And so, like, that struggle of, like, Usui's always better than her, and she, like, wants to surpass him just through hard work, but, like, hard work is never truly enough. Like, you do need to have natural talent. Struggle of, like, realizing that is definitely something that took me forever to figure out. And then it took me even longer to be like, but wait, we're better together. It's better this way. They are not the best at everything. It is better when you have diverse strengths. Yeah. The struggle's real. The struggle is...
Yep.
And, like, it is rewarding to see, like, Misaki does not need Usui, but they do work better together.
They do. They are very impressive together. Like, those are great.
Yes. But would you like to go on a gender rant? Would you like...
I feel like anybody who reads this will already know the gender rant just by reading it.
You know that's not true. You know that there are young, impressionable people out there.
I want them to know the gender rant just by looking at it.
I know you do, but you know it's not how life works.
I hate so much.
Tell me all the things you hate. It's fine.
So many. Where do I even start? First of all, the concept that this manga does not do a good job of subverting, at least so far, that girls are weaker and need protection and blah, blah, blah. Like, Misaki proves the rule by being the exception in a lot of ways. She buys into it, actually, in a lot of ways, because she's always the one protecting girls.
Yeah, she totally gets off on protecting girls.
It's actually the worst. Which is the worst. Like, no, it's not the worst. I mean, because, like, it's really cool when Misaki does it. But at the same time, she's belittling Sakura. And I don't think there's any way Sakura's not aware of that.
I think Sakura is kind of, like, into it.
Maybe.
Okay.
I feel like it's hard to say because of the way this mindset is just the default for... I think it's the default for the writer, therefore it is the default for all the characters. And it's really frustrating. And then the way, like, they play with it does not actually shift that mindset at all. Like, Yukimura's girly and he's also weak.
Yes.
Usui proves his manliness by kissing Yukimura. Like, okay. Like, all right, if that makes you the manliest guy in school, sure. Sexual harassment is manly.
Sexual harassment is definitely portrayed as manly, or at least as a man thing to do.
Yeah, like, not only is it, Usui's character trait, but all the guys at Seika, like, that field trip.
That field trip is really, like, okay, obviously the point of Maid-sama is to be very over the top and comedic, but there are points where it's like, this is not too comedic. Over the top.
That was gross.
Yeah. It's like, you've taken it too far. Both in a plausibility perspective and just like, this is not how humans work. Like,
it's not. It's not, and it's disgusting to make to make a statement that all teenage males in this situation will do this, except for the cool ones.
Right, but even the cool ones, I mean, Hinata's pretty okay.
Hinata's fine.
Yeah, but like Usui, it's like you understand if Usui was pervy. Like, yes, there are pervy people, fine. But yeah, being like, all of these people are just terrible, but then Usui, in this one instance, is not that terrible person. You're like, no, his perviness is not just like magical, not like okay perviness. And it always happens that, he'll be helpful staving off crappy guys, but then it'll end up in a scene where he just sexually harasses Misaki, being like, do I get a reward for helping you? You have more to say?
Do I have more to say?
You're like, I could go on forever.
I could go on forever. I think a lot of what I have to say actually comes up. It'll come up in the next half when we do the next half of Maid-sama.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? We definitely don't have half a podcast left.
No, I hope not, because I have to go.
Yeah.
But there's just it's the main thing is that this is not challenged really in any way. Like, they make you think they're gonna challenge it, but they never do.
Yeah, and part of that is because I think in the beginning there was less direction, and then I do know that the second half is like far more rushed than this first half of like episodic sort of nonsense that happens. Because like all of Usui's character arc gets shoved into those volumes, and now there's just so many more characters get introduced, and there's already like a ton of plot lines going on, and it all just gets like really muddled in the second half. So yeah, it just like drops a bunch of plot lines in favor of the
yep.
Which isn't cool, but I still really like it. And I do think it like. Reading the Butler Cafe versus Maid Cafe did really make me think about... I will admit that I recently read the book Strangers in Their Own Land, which is about our super divided politics. It's basically a sociologist who's from like Berkeley, our heathen state of California, all liberal nonsense. And she goes and like for 5 years like deeply studies Tea Partiers in Louisiana and like hangs out with them, becomes friends with them and stuff. And so, part of her findings, which I think I've picked up on just because most of my family is conservative and some of them are Southern, so like sure, is that like, the way poor Republicans identify is sort of that they identify upwards with the social class, which is how I feel that the Butler Cafe people were like, yes, you should work hard and be so sacrificial and work through all your pain, which is what's happening to like poor Southerners basically. Like her whole premise was like, the policies that you really love, which are like, and the things that you value, because the things they value are like hard work and not whining about it and like all those things, and the policies they value are like lower taxes and whatever. She's like, those things are what are giving you like cancer and stuff from pollution and all the stuff from them like drilling gas. And so it's hard because then like, liberals like us, identify with like, no, you should be compassionate and you should not want to like slave yourself away for some amount of money to the dude who's like out to get you and all those things. And I was like, yeah, I feel like beyond gender, this argument is actually encapsulating values of different classes.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't think they do it well, but
We're gonna
that's
talk.
That's an argument for a different arc.
Yeah, next arc we're gonna talk more about social class because it becomes much more the issue.
Oh God.
The issue in these is all gender. Does Misaki like Usui? She keeps trying not to. Okay, now they're pretty much together. The next arc is about class differences, which do exist in this arc because it is frequently acknowledged that Misaki has no money and is poor and goes to this crummy school, but there's not a strong counterbalance to that yet. It will come. Stay tuned. All right, do you want to talk about ships first, or
ships?
Do the love quiz?
Or what's the other? Oh no, let's do the love quiz and then the ships.
Oh, great. Okay.
That is the true order of things.
So I am again, this is the first recorded episode of this podcast, so that's probably why it's a little rough. But the one thing that I thought could be a funny recurring segment is that each episode filling out a different love quiz, posing as one of the characters in the manga. Obviously, we have to pose as Misaki, even though she would be like, I'm totally not filling out a love quiz, like, screw off. Or she'd do it in secret. She'd be like, I'm just, I'm doing research for my maid.
Yeah, she would do it for research. I don't think she would do it on her own.
Exactly. And then she'd happen to stumble upon one that could maybe help her figure out if she loves Usui or not.
Right. Well, maybe Sakura could get her to do it. Anyway,
Yeah.
What? How are we doing this?
So I want you to, I picked 2 quizzes. You can click them and you can tell me which one you think is better. Or I put the list to the other ones if you don't like either of those.
No. Are you in love or is it just a crush? Or does he like you? This is a really hard choice. One of these is about Misaki. One of them is about Usui.
Yeah, see? That's why you gotta choose.
This is tough. Well, what volume are we doing for Misaki? that will affect which one.
Oh, really?
We have to do.
Okay, we're not just gonna do end Misaki?
End Misaki? Then I think we need to do the first one.
Okay.
Because I think she figures out that he likes her before she figures out she likes him.
Okay.
So
we should both open this.
All right.
I do want us to try to
Yes.
come to a consensus, but if we cannot, we should both fill it out in case we cannot, and then maybe we'll get different answers.
Okay.
Maybe we'll get different
All right.
answers.
let me read the top of this here. Quiz. Are you in love or is it just a crush? When you've been crushing on someone for a while, sometimes it's hard to know if the butterflies you get every time they're nearby means you really like or love them, or if it's just because you've built them up so much in your head. Take this quiz to help you tell if what you're feeling is just infatuation or if it's the real deal.
Also, this is in
By Kristen Koch.
17 magazine, so prepare
Yes.
yourselves. There are gifts from MTV. It's great.
All right. So, should I ask the question?
Yeah, your voice
Okay.
is so much better.
Well, I also think that you are the, epitome of Misaki, so I think
Great.
it makes more sense for me to read the questions. All right. The first time you saw your crush, that's bad grammar.
Yeah.
The first time you saw your crush, you thought he/she was cute, but were most attracted to their personality, were seriously attracted to them, wanted them to notice me. They cannot decide if this is you or I.
Yeah, Asher's like correcting grammar as he goes.
I can't. It's too confusing. All right, just pick one. So you thought they were cute? You thought you were seriously attracted to them, or you wanted them to notice you?
Damn, Misaki doesn't like any of these answers.
She definitely wouldn't have wanted him to notice her.
She doesn't want Senpai to notice her. Definitely not attracted to personality, so I guess we have to go with the middle
Yes.
answer.
You're doing the middle answer?
Well, the other two don't make any sense, right?
You're right, because she doesn't like his
He definitely
personality.
doesn't like his personality.
All right. I pick that one. All right. Number 2. How long have you been hanging out with your crush? 1. Not at all. I just wish it could happen. 2, we hang out all the time, sometimes in groups and sometimes just the two of us. 3, we always end up hanging out when we see each other at parties or in the hallways, but we've never just hung out, just the two of us.
The middle answer, right?
It's the middle answer, yeah. 3, if your crush isn't at school, you feel bummed and regret wasting your cute outfit. 2, it's definitely not that one. 2, text them to see how they're feeling and if they need you to get their assignments from their teachers. 3, DM them a cute get well message. It's the second one.
Yes, it's always the second one. Second one is reliable for us right now.
Well, let's find out. Number 4, why do you want to date your crush? Do you? 1,
Isn't that what we're trying to figure out?
1, we'd make the cutest couple. You know, if they knew I was alive. Definitely not a problem for Misaki. 2, you are both into the same things, and they're funny and considerate.
Oh no, the second one's letting us down.
3, deaf their looks and those smoldering eyes.
Oh boy.
I think we still need to pick number 2.
Oh damn it, okay.
What, do you disagree? I don't think she wants to date
No,
him.
wait. I think number 2 does make sense if you consider it to be he's always there for her, because he is, and she likes that about him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, she has never once mentioned anything about his looks.
It's true, except his hair, I guess. But that's not
She
about
likes
his
his hair.
looks. It was about, like, touching it.
She wasn't even, she wasn't, attracted to his hair. She was just like, it's fluffy.
Yeah.
Drunk Misaki was great. All right. So number 2?
Yes, okay. I've clicked it.
Okay. The thing I like best about them is 1, their bod and/or beautiful face. 2, they're on the same sports teams as me. That's cute. 3, how they always make me laugh. Aw, it's 3, right?
Yeah, well, it's definitely not 2 this time.
Right, because Usui doesn't like sports. Number 6. When your crush does something that's not cool, you call them out on it. You feel comfortable letting them know if their behavior bothers you. Yeah, that's probably
yeah,
it.
I don't
2.
feel yeah.
2, seriously reconsider whether you like them. Well,
Damn, that's also valid.
No. That's never been a problem because she's always figured she doesn't. 3, ignore it. Even when they act like a jerk, you can't help it. Like, definitely not that
Definitely
one.
not that one.
So number 1 or number 2?
I'll go with number 1.
Okay.
They both make sense to me, though.
I think I like number 1 a little more. Number 7. Since you met, how has your relationship progressed? 1, we got to know each other before we started dating. Yes. 2, it hasn't. I'm too scared to tell him how I feel. 3, we text each other and meet up at parties, but we still haven't hung out one-on-one.
All right, number 1.
Number 1. Number 8, how does your crush act towards you? 1, super flirty. Yeah. 2, really sweet. They always ask how I am and check in about things they know are important to me. Also valid. Don't know if I would call what he does sweet.
Yeah, no.
3, like I don't exist. He/she probably doesn't even know my name. Definitely not that one. So 1.
1.
9, your feelings for your crush. 1, are probably not reciprocated. You've barely ever spoken. She wishes. 2, get stronger the more you hang out. That sounds fair. 3, seem to lose their intensity when you hang out for long periods of time. Number 2, right?
Yes. Number 2's back. It's coming back.
Number 10, sometimes I secretly feel like, 1, if we dated IRL, it would never be as amazing as it is in my head. Is this about an internet relationship?
I don't know. No, because they talk about hallways and stuff.
I'm so confused. 2, I don't know if I'm really that into them. 3, I might blurt out, I love you, when I'm with them. 2?
2, yeah. Because she never fantasizes about being with him.
Yeah. 11. Not yet, anyway. When you get a text from him, you... See, now they're all... So, who wrote this quiz?
Somebody who is clearly not 17.
No. The problem is...
Too much 17?
No. They've been going back and forth like, is this a boy? Are we being gender neutral?
Oh.
Anyway. So when you get a text from this person, you... 1, freak out because he's never texted you before. 2, wait at least an hour to text back so he doesn't think you're desperate and so you can craft the perfect chill response with your besties. 3, text him something cute back. You're always happy to hear from him, even if it's just to say hi.
This one's hard because none of them really
I feel
fit.
like 2 is the closest.
Yeah, because she wouldn't want him to think she's desperate in
when you
any
get a text
way.
from him, you ignore
Yeah,
it.
exactly. You ignore him for a while so that he does not get any ideas. That's how I'm
Yeah,
reading number 2.
right.
Click in.
Yeah. All right. Number 12. For Valentine's Day, you hope your crush, A, invites you to the party his friends are throwing, B, leaves a Valentine in your locker admitting he or she has a crush on you too, or C, plans a romantic dinner for you two. But as long as you spend it together, you'll be happy. I actually think number 3.
Yeah.
Dark
You know what,
horse,
Misaki-
dark horse winner.
Yeah. Misaki wants
Also,
all
he's
the
a
things.
great cook. Number 13. When you daydream about your crush in class, I read that as when you daydream about your crush in a dress.
Ooh. Well, that could be something
So
too.
when you daydream about your crush in class, what do you fantasize about? Him in a dress.
Yeah.
1. A. Want him to hide his weakness, fears, or insecurities from me. Not true. 2. Want to be around and watch him being dissed by anyone in the most popular crowd. What?
That doesn't even make sense.
I'm really confused. You're not on this podcast. 3. Fit into his crowd, but there's always... This is not...
This is not
I
grammatical.
think these answers don't go with this question.
I guess that means we have to pick 2. I'm
Um,
locking in.
No. Which of these...
It's too late. I already locked in. You can lock in on a
Okay.
different one. That's the whole point.
Why
of doing
isn't
it.
there an option to skip a question?
Just click one.
All right. 14. You hope your crush, A, secretly has a crush on you too. B, asks you out. 3, likes you as much as you like him. Is there a
Is there a
I guess
difference?
there is-
Is that what you
there is a
mean to say?
difference. These are all like actually different things. These are different takes on the same feeling, which is annoying, but they have different outcomes.
Yeah.
If he secretly has a crush, it could go nowhere. If he likes you as much as you like him, that could go somewhere. That could mean that you get it out. And number 2 asks you out, like that's the go-getter thing. Like that has nothing to do with feelings, actually.
Yeah. I feel like number 3. I feel like that's where they're at
Number
right
3?
now.
I agree. Your feelings for your crush are the real
Oh
deal.
no!
It's not just because they're hot or they're on the soccer team or have that cool senior thing going for them. It's just not the idea of your crush that makes your stomach drop whenever they're around. The more you get to know your crush, quirks and all, the more you like them. Oh no.
Oh no.
And the way they make you feel when you're hanging out or texting makes you want to be around them all the time. You've shared personal things about yourselves that you've never told anyone else. And they're the person you come to when you have good news or bad, because you know they'll be there for you. Even if you're not ready to say I love you yet, that kind of intimacy, trust, and deep connection are the foundation for lasting love. That actually really suits them.
You're like, damn it.
maybe Misaki's like that, but
You're like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
All right, Misaki.
Seems legit.
You really love Usui. That's what we've learned. Don't worry, the manga will tell us that eventually. All right, so now it's time for Shipping Corner. Asher's favorite segment. So we should talk about all the canonical ships, which are, or at least all the ones that kind of seem like they could be real. The manga wants you to think they could be real, at least.
Like Hinata?
Yeah. It wants you to believe in that triangle.
It's so not there.
Listen.
I mean, the triangle is there, but the option of Hinata is so not. So not.
Well, okay. Do you think that that's good? Do you think Hinata should have been given a stronger chance here?
No. I do not.
Why not?
The kind of guy who... okay, like Hinata's a good person.
Yes.
He's a sweet kid.
Uh-huh.
The fact that when Misaki was like, you have no hope and I like Usui, and he said, I'm not giving up actually is
Oh, that annoys you. I can see how
awful.
that annoys you.
Really bugs me. It is not cute. It is not cute.
You're like, people, you should just move on and find love elsewhere.
You should not tell someone you're not moving on and that you're going to keep trying and they're going to keep pressuring them to be with you.
You just keep that to yourself.
Yeah, basically.
Nice.
I mean, give it to someone, tell someone else. Don't bottle your feelings up and become, mentally unhealthy, but don't do that.
Fair enough. So even though you have issues with the Usui, you support the Usui and the Misaki.
Because Misaki likes him back.
Oh! You okay. What if Usui liked Hinata back? You'd be like, that's the real shit.
What if Usui liked
Misaki
back?
like
Is that what you
I don't know.
said?
That's not what I meant to say.
If Usui liked Hinata back, that would be
You're like,
very
yes!
interesting.
Amazing.
Look. So far, Hinata's the only one calling Usui by his first name. Just so you know.
Oh, yeah.
Just so you know.
Good on you, Hinata. See you.
If Misaki liked Hinata back, then that would be different. Then I would tell Usui to back off. Basically, all these guys need to back off. All of them.
You only want what Misaki wants.
Yeah, basically.
All right, fair enough.
It's her choice.
Again, I do like Usui and Misaki because they are the dynamic duo or whatever.
Yeah. I also like that.
It's fun being a power couple. Like, you should aspire to that, actually. Like, relationship goals. There's also Sakura and Kuga, though.
I do not.
I do not support that one.
No. I know it's what Sakura wants, and yet
Sakura does not have Sakura's best interest in heart here.
No. And I mean, spoilers, but like the manga keeps pushing this, and it keeps being not great. And I just don't want to give this guy any more chances. Like he doesn't need them.
He doesn't deserve them. He
doesn't deserve them. That's what I should have said. Yeah.
He'll find other people, and they shouldn't get with him either because he's a jerk. Damn it, Kuga. He also is like not. He's not
visually appealing.
That's what, yeah. I was like, how do I say this?
You stop caring what fictional characters might think. He's not visually appealing. There's like a sort of cuteness about the impression I have of him is that he's short, but maybe that's just because I'm always seeing him next to Usui, who is like a giant. So it's sort of cute that he and Sakura are both short,
yeah.
but like that's it.
That's the only part.
Sakura deserves way better.
Yeah, that goes on to our thing that we wish was a real ship, Misaki and Sakura.
Yes.
Misaki and Sakura have the dopest, cutest moments, including so there was a plot point in this where at the sports festival, one of the prizes that you could win if you won the race thingy was a kiss from Sakura, which is like totally a thing that a school would not allow. That's not a thing. And
well, maybe in Japan.
Oh, don't make me think of Japan like that. And then, so Misaki's all hell-bent on winning it so that people don't get to kiss Sakura against her will, which is totally valid. And then Usui actually ends up winning, but he doesn't want to kiss Sakura, so he's just like, here you go. And Misaki came in second, so Misaki gets to get the kiss from Sakura, and they have a very cute moment where Sakura kisses her on the cheek, and it's great. There's also a moment where, what was the pretext of it, though?
What was the pretext of the
pat on the head thing?
Usui patted Misaki's head, but actually before that, Usui had asked her, like, oh god, I don't.
No, but
it can't. Wait,
Misaki
what?
pats Sakura on the head.
Yeah, but that was after Usui patted Misaki on the head.
Yeah, but like, why was Misaki patting Sakura on the head?
Oh, I don't remember.
Gosh darn it!
She was being cute. I don't know.
No, it was a comfort thing. There was something happening. Whatever, that was a cute moment.
Was it Kuga?
It was probably something to do with
Was
Kuga.
Kuga happening?
Probably.
Yeah. That or it was when, like, there were creepy stalkers around and she walked Sakura home that one time. I don't remember. It was such a small moment.
All of them are small, but they're big in my heart. They're the cutest. They deserve each other, even though I would be scared of Sakura in real life. My OTP really is Usui and Misaki. I'm like, yep, power couple. Let's do it.
Yep. It's good. It's good,
even though Usui's bad.
Yeah, like...
Usui has his moments of good.
Once, I think Fujiwara gets sick of portraying him that way, and she actually kind of stops.
I have read that one of the complaints of Maid-sama is that there's not enough hinting of anything that could be happening with Usui up until this point, and...
No, there was lots of hints.
Yeah, there actually were, once you know, there were a fair amount of hints. Like, I was like, maybe Fujiwara just didn't plan that out, but, like, no, she definitely was planning it out that whole time.
Yeah, like, as early as the chess thing.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know.
Possibly earlier.
I don't know if that's a valid criticism of Usui's character there. He's just very good at hiding it because Misaki never presses him. Like, she'll be like, Usui never talks about himself, and then, like, doesn't ask him questions, really. So, like, it's Misaki's fault. Not curious enough.
She was curious, but she didn't want to, like, give him the satisfaction of knowing.
Oh, yeah, that was that.
That's what it was.
But the point is that he's so boring. Curious. He lives with nothingness in his apartment.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any final thoughts? Does your heart go doki doki when you read this?
My heart go doki doki. Are we only talking about Misaki and Sakura as...
Oh, do you have...
another ship?
No, do you have other ships? I have no strong feelings about other ships.
You're right, I don't have strong feelings about other ships at this moment.
I was about to say, the ships will come more into play. The second half gets cray-cray with some ships.
Super good. Oh my god, I hate so many of them.
Oh boy. We're gonna have... Shipping Corner's gonna get lit next time.
Oh yeah, get ready. Oh god. You know exactly who I'm thinking of too, I think.
To be honest, there was one that I forgot, and then in looking up the series, I saw that ship, and I was like, oh god, I forgot about that one too, but I think I know the one you're talking about.
Well, actually, now I'm curious, because now I realize there are at least two that I really hated.
Yeah. Well, we can say it.
Power dynamics are not great. Power imbalance, not fun. Don't do it.
That one's bad. They're both bad.
I think we're thinking of the same two ships.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Or I'll get to those volumes and be surprised about how much there is to dislike.
Oh, great. Until next time, let's outro this. Thanks for listening to Shojo and Tell. Comments, questions, constructive criticism, concerns. Need to gush about your OTP? Email shoujoandtell@gmail.com. Tweet us at shoujoandtell on Twitter, or follow at shoujoandtell on Facebook. This is a new podcast. I do not believe that there are other podcasts covering only shoujo manga / shoujo manga at all. They're all about, like, One Piece and that garbage. So it'd be great if you could leave a review on the iTunes or Apple Podcasts or whatever the crap they're calling it these days. This will help the podcast reach more hearts, or at least ears.
That was cute.
Aw, so cute. So cute.
So cute.
Thanks again for listening. We'll be back. Me and Asher will be back next time for the second half of Maid-sama. I'm going to record an episode about Cardcaptor Sakura with somebody else in between then. Who knows in what order I'll release these episodes. It's a mystery. But just like Usui. But we'll finally get to learn more about the planet Pheromone then. So be sure to tune into our thoughts about Usui's mysterious alien origins.
So you just said tune into our thoughts, like psychically,
psychically.
And that. I think that is exactly what you need to do to find out Usui's background.
It's true.
Exactly. It is true. Bye-bye.
Bye.